It's time. It's the 1st of January. I'm wearing a unicorn jumper and I am feeling good about tackling my art space. So let me give you a quick before tour and tell you what I'm planning. As you can see, my art space is actually in the corner of my bedroom. So it's a very small space and I've been in this space for about 3 years, I think. I guess over time it's kind of got filled up. There's stuff on my desk that I use all the time, and then there's stuff in these caddies and in these caddies here, and I don't even know what's in there. I think it's time for just a big clear out to kind of take stock of what I've got, get rid of things that I'm not really using anymore, and just kind of like, I don't know, I guess start the year with that tidy, organized feeling. This is my very high-tech organization system. I've got a bin bag for anything that can go in the trash. I have got a box for anything that I want to give away or donate, and I have got this space for anything that I am not sure about. Anything that is staying, I think I'll just kind of keep in its place. I don't know yet exactly how I'm going to do it, but I'll just see as I go on, because that's how I roll. Oh gosh, I don't even know what in this one, and then there's another one behind it. Oh my god, under my desk is basically just a dumping ground of stuff. This shameful under desk space. You know, like, I mean, tell me, please, honestly, you have a shameful under desk space as well, I hope, because, like, don't let me feel so alone here. So all of these things I'm going to tackle and gonna show you. I hope you find this interesting and, I don't know, motivational. So I've already encountered the first difficult one, which is this desktop easel. I have used it once, but it's really one of those things where, like, I might use it, like I might get rid of it and then I might miss it even though I've never used it. I mean, I'm listening to myself and I'm like, come on Iris, you need to get rid of this. I'm kind of realizing how big a job this is. I'm kind of surprised how so many of these pens actually still work fine. It was mostly the gel pens that didn't work anymore, but there's still some that work, and then loads of the well-known brand paint markers and stuff. They all still work completely fine, even though I haven't touched them for years. They've just been sitting in that drawer. I realized I had some stuff that I completely forgot, didn't even know I had, but now it's kind of the difficult question of whether I want to keep these things or give them away. I mean, I do kind of subscribe to the view that if you haven't used it in, well, if you can't even remember the last time you used it, then it's not really something that you're going to be using soon. But then again, there's also the consideration that now that I know that I have some of these, I might put them into my kind of current supply. So I think I'm gonna have to have a little think about it. And then there's also, which I hadn't thought of when I made my little piles over on the bed, I hadn't thought of the other category there is, which is giving it to the kids. You know, just like making the problem go to another part of the house. And actually, there is another consideration, which is, do I want these pens to be in that drawer? Because as you can see, the drawers are all kind of hidden behind my easel, so they're hard to access. And if you can't access art supplies, then you're not going to end up using them because it's too much of an effort to get them out. Same thing for the art supplies, the paints that are under my desk. It's like I never used them because they're just not accessible. But now, because I know I'm very bad at this, I need to go have some lunch so I don't get really hangry. My hair today, honestly. Alright, let's have a quick check-in. This is so satisfying. It is really satisfying. I have added a couple of categories to my organization system. So I have rubbish, donate, stuff that's gonna go into the loft, stuff for the kids. For donate, it's been quite easy so far. Like, these are just, it's a bit painful because obviously I spent loads of money on like all these golden paints, but I literally do not use them. And I feel comfortable and confident enough in my art style these days that I am sure about what I like using and what I don't, and what fits into my process and what doesn't. What I find much more difficult is this. It is a whole box of stencils, and now I really hardly use stencils at all, but this I'm finding really difficult. It really brings up that feeling of like, ooh, but I might want to use them next year. It's unlikely I will, to be honest. Stencils are so different. You're either using them or you're not using them, so I don't use them in my regular process. At some point I might want to do some project or some type of something where I would want to use stencils, so I find that one really, really difficult. So I think I might defer that decision, because I feel like when I'm not sure, I want to kind of listen to my gut feeling and not push that into the trash or into the donate and then regret it. So and that's what I am doing with that easel, the desktop easel, because it's for such a different type of art making, different kind of mode of art making that I'm not currently doing, but I might in the future. I'm just gonna put it in the loft, and then I know that I've got it. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to start putting boxes of supplies in the loft, because I think that's like, you know, that's the beginning of the end. When it comes to supplies, I'm going to be using them or I'm not going to be using them, if you get what I mean. Trust me to like start having an existential crisis over tidying up my art space. I am just knee deep into this right now, and I realized I've got like quite a stack of finished art journals or kind of sketchbooks, which is quite fun, because I had forgotten quite a lot of this stuff. And I'm recognizing some of the artwork here. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. When was this? This was May 2016 to May 2018. This kind of style, which I really started developing around that time. So there's just so much work that I did. I don't really remember those phases. Oh yeah, these watercolor with the creepy hands. Like, they were really quite influential, kind of developing my art style and stuff. So it's really cool to look through these kind of older journals. This was my first junk journal. I don't know if I've got a junk journal flip of this one. I think so. I think I've got a flip of this somewhere on my channel. If not, I should make one, obviously. This one, an altered book, quite different. Like the texture and kind of motifs are still kind of similar to what I do now. But some of these like small faces, I don't tend to do that very much. I don't do abstract pages like this very much at all. It's just so cool and interesting to kind of see where I've come from. So anyway, this stack of finished art journals, that's going downstairs into what used to be my art room, where I've got a shelf of finished art journals. I like to not put those away. I want to just kind of keep them and like have them on a shelf all together, so it's displayed and all satisfying and stuff. Oh, and also what I always tend to do is I write on the spines what the years are, so the start year and the finish year, because it's just kind of like an easy way of seeing when that was, and if I want to kind of find something or want to go through old work and I don't know, just re-inspire myself, then it's easy to kind of see. To that point in the process where everything is such a mess that I no longer know where I put down my camera, but then it turned out it was actually on the tripod. This is the layer of dust on some of the stuff. Doing all of this is actually really educational, because I'm realizing that a lot of the time the reason I don't use stuff is because it's not accessible. And like, for example, my jelly plates are down at the back of that caddy away, and now I'm not a huge fan of jelly plates. However, if they were just kind of more out and about, then I might decide to use them or experiment with them more often. So I think I'm really starting to understand the drawbacks of a small space. I mean, obviously I know the drawbacks of a small space. Nobody likes to have a small space, but I was kind of like making it work for me. Like, I guess with a small space, you tend to stick to your thing that you normally do, and you don't branch out, you don't get adventurous. That's interesting to realize that. Getting to things, cleaning them, and deciding whether I want to keep them or get rid of them is actually the easy part. The hard part is the fact that I'm also trying to think of how can I set up my space more effectively? How can I have a more conducive space in which I'm really maximizing all of the little nooks and crannies without stuff being hidden away and then not used as a consequence. So I'm really kind of thinking about how I can maybe rejig things, and if that is at all possible, because obviously, like you've seen, I have very little space. Here I have got 2 boxes so far, 2 kind of half boxes on the go with all the stuff that I'm going to get rid of. And also to just put this into perspective, because I was thinking, like, I was feeling a bit bad about like all the things that I have acquired over the years that I then ended up not using. But I would actually say that most of the stuff that I have got that I am now getting rid of are the things that I got very early on in my art journey when I hadn't developed my own style yet. I had no idea what art supplies I liked and what art supplies I didn't like, what art supplies would allow me to do the type of art that I wanted to do. I didn't even know what type of art I wanted to do at that point. So a lot of the art supplies that I invested in back then end up not being used anymore right now because they are just not part of my style and approach and techniques. And in a way it's really good to see that the things that I do use on a daily basis, the things that I use up, the things that I actually have to buy again because I use them so much, it's like an endorsement of my own discovering of my own style, because it's become so much more clear to me what I like and what I don't like, what I use, what I don't use. And then it also, art supply shopping becomes much more enjoyable in a way, rather than like I need to buy the next hottest thing that somebody's recommending. It becomes more about like going around the art supply store and finding little things that I can try, like a little bento box of art supplies. Hello, it's the next day. I can't actually brush my hair because my hairbrush is somewhere inaccessible. I'd have to clear the floor. I am itching to come back to all of this, but first we're gonna go out and buy some rice and go for a walk, as you do. For a quick update, it kind of looks the same as before, but I've been making really good progress because I think it's all about organizing things and reducing things. So I'm still kind of deciding what I want to put there. I've really organized this here. Loads of these drawers are much more empty, or they've got different things in them and are much more organized. I've still got a nearly empty one here, and it's all just a lot more kind of overseeable. This is my main caddy, which is still mostly empty, so that I can really have a think about what are the most important supplies that I want to have quick access to. Everything that's still on my desk I still need to do something with, but it's kind of like it's really going the right way. I used to have like a kind of a forest of tripods on my desk. So I've got my tripod here that I do my top-down filming with, and then I had another tripod there which was just kind of taking up a lot of floor space, and it had a light. But what I've done is I went and ordered a ring light, which was a bit of a difficult decision because there's so many and they all just kind of have slightly bad reviews, or unless you want to like spend 300 quid, which I don't. But anyway, I made a decision and I ended up ordering a 14-inch ring light because they tend to come in 14 and 18 inch, and 18 inch is just going to be too massive. So it's going to be 14 inch. It's getting here on Monday, and that will get me a better lighting setup because I was having a problem with like quite harsh shadows when I was filming art videos lessons, and it will also obviously allow me to get rid of that second tripod that had the light on it. Exciting! I've never had a ring light before, so you know, hoping to upgrade, up my game, that kind of thing. And I really hope it's gonna work out. I really hope that the setup is gonna work. And now I am just gonna kind of keep going with kind of trying to clear my desktop and kind of give everything its proper space. I did it! I was too knackered last night to even, I finished, but I was too knackered last night to even talk to the camera about it. Yeah, I finished the art space overhaul. I'm still going to do a couple of more things. I have cleared all the wall space here. I am going to be hanging this beautiful painting that Anne Clyde sent me that I had lying around for ages because I'm that type of person who just doesn't do things. But I have ordered a frame now and I'm going to hang it here, and I'm looking forward to getting some other art hopefully this year that I can hang in my space and just kind of make it feel inspiring. I also have a row of postcards at the front of my desk that I've had there forever, and I am thinking if I'm going to take those off and I'm going to replace them with other postcards of art of people that inspire me. Waiting for my ring light, and so once I've got like some of those things in place, so the ring light and the framed painting, I will do a little studio tour, which I think will be fun because I want to share my studio setup and my space, but also specifically in light of it being such a tiny space in the corner of my bedroom, because you know, when I had to give up my art room, that was quite painful, and having to move into a small corner was difficult both mentally and physically, but I have managed to make it work. Most of my art teaching career has been from this little desk, this little space. Most of the development in my art style has been here, so I really feel like for me that is proof that don't let your space hold you back. You can do things in a small space, and also hopefully it would just be practical just to see like kind of how I've got things organized, so that's going to come up in another video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Thank you everyone for your videos on my previous vlog, the word of the year, end of the year vlog. I'm so glad that you all enjoyed that one. That was really nice. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to do those things, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!